Hey guys, welcome back. I know we just dropped one of these videos not too long ago. A lot of our content the next couple of weeks will probably be mostly be based around sending cards in to the PSA. We are currently just preparing a large package by sets of 20. One, to keep track of, and two, so that way, it's not like a video that's like 5 hours long of like 100 cards. These generally take about 40 minutes. Sorry, I know it's still long, but if you enjoy seeing decent high quality cards and playing Guess the Grades, this is the videos for you. So, starting off without further ado, I'm only going to pull this one out of the sleeve because he is reverse hollow, and a penny sleeve will actually block any issue. So there is a slight scratch there, and so this is the E-Series reverse hollow Mr. Mime, and the original, when they first did reverse hollow foils, the material is very prone to scratches, just like all the original cards. So they're very hard. Sometimes a reverse hollow E-Series card, PSA 10, is worth more than a hollow of that card in that series because it's so much harder to keep in good condition. So the back has some minor whiting. There is some of the original wax missing. It's not insane, and there's not deep scratches on the back, so that's really good. But there is a bunch of minor scratches on the front. I'm going to guess between 8 to 9. Make sure you're guessing. Now, one thing I saw, and it'll come up later, I didn't know, I've never seen this before, is the number says 95A of 147. I have never seen that ever, so hopefully that's a misprint. I marked it down, we'll see, but yeah, for now we're gonna say 8 to 9. Make sure you guess your grade. We're hoping 9. It's definitely down to 10. There's too many minor scratches on the front. And then moving into a really cool card. I think the story behind Slowking is originally he was like really broken because there was a typo issue in his ability power. I think it was only on the Japanese one though. I'm not really certain. The story's kind of vague to me. There's a swirl. They're not deep scratches, but they're definitely not minor. They're somewhere in between. So there is scratches in the hollow foil. The rest of the front looks great. Centering's pretty decent. I've never been a master of that. I'm just good at finding scratches and whiting. There are super minor nicks. The centering on the back isn't as great. I wouldn't say 10. I think I'm just going to say flat 9. It's a wonderful card. I'm going to say flat 9. And then once again, followed by Slowking. I do try, and when I'm picking the cards for these, I do try and pick a bunch of the same, but just slightly different variations of them. So like the same Pokemon, but different variations of that card. So this one's different because that's the Japanese version of that Neo Genesis one. So for this one, it's a really cool close-up. I didn't realize he had an apple. I always thought it was like a scepter since he's a king, but it's an apple. The hollow foil on this isn't great in my opinion. Like, it's really dark. Like, I know they put it like around the entire border, but like in terms of the actual hollow foil behind him, it's like almost not there at all. There's actually some scratches on the main Pokemon, which is kind of rare to me, and that spec is not coming off. I don't know what to make out for the front. Now there is little bits of whiting all around the border. Centering's not awful. I'm going to guess 7 to 8. Some of you might think 8's a little high for how much whiting there was. And yeah, there's whiting spread out, but like, I'm pretty certain, I'm almost like 95% positive they take into account how minor it is. So it may be spread out across the border, but it's not like there's a giant like nick or like piece of it. It's tiny little itty bitty bits that like you won't even see once you put in the PSA case. And I think they take that into account. Wow, there is a ton of specs on this one, like specs like the hollow foil. That's awesome. That is really awesome how much there is. That's nuts. Really gorgeous card. That is a mirror finish. Woo! That is a mirror finish. Not seeing any issues on the front here. It's a little miscentered, but centering is not the worst thing. Oh, I was hoping that would come off. It looks like there is like a minor dent. It's not a speck. It's like a minor dent. Dang. And there's a little bit right there. Oof, that's rough. I'm going to guess 9 to 10. I know a 10 isn't supposed to have any flaws, but that's like, man, that is a clean front on that card. You've got to love when the hollow foil is a mirror finish, especially on the original card. So even though that hollow foil is easier to scratch off, I think the original hollow foil was just better looking, like when it was in perfect condition, of course. I mean, like, so in comparison to like a perfect condition hollow foil card nowadays versus a perfect condition hollow foil from the original set, perfect hollow foil on the original sets, like the Wizards of the Coast sets, looks fantastic. It just looks like a beautiful colored mirror versus hollow foil on the newer cards. Here's an example right here. They put like no work into this, in my opinion. Like, it's hollow foil, but like there's no pattern behind it. It's just a hollow foil of the landscape. It's still cool because the landscape's a lot more clear compared to like hollow foil on base set cards. Like, it's just like a Pokemon within like an abstract. While Slowking here is like in a field. There's clearly like a set of things going on. But you can see there's very little work put into the hollow foil pattern itself. It's completely mirror finish though, but in terms of mirror finish, it doesn't look like a mirror. It just, like, you can see that there's no scratches on it, and you can move the light lines in it, but it's just lacking. A little bit of miscentering from top to bottom, super minor. The centering on the back is worse. Itty bits of whiting. We're gonna say 9 to 10 for that one. Okay. Now this one's a really cool card. I didn't know this series existed until I got back into buying and selling Pokemon cards. However, I do wish this one was in better condition, because there is a solid nick on the top corner. That's a huge flaw. The hollow foil, besides the scratches, but I mean, like, what's going on in the background is awesome. I love when they do that. And it's got a swirl. It's got energies and a swirl. I wish it was mirror. This would have been an amazing card. I have no idea how it will grade because it's got such a gigantic dent. It's got some silvering. The back is missing wax. I might be overzealous with this one. I might be grading high. But I'm going to say 6 to 7. It's hard for me because I haven't had any of my cards come back yet besides my high-end cards that I sent for Quick Express, which was a Shadowless Charizard and Shadowless Blastoise. But I'm having a hard time. I know 6 to 7, why even bother sending it in? I just like to have my stuff PSA graded. If I could afford it, if it was easy to do, I would probably PSA every last card. It's really starting to feel like we're going that route, but I'm trying to be selective on what I send in. The only reason why we've had a blow up is because the prices have gone up drastically, and now it's pretty much worth PSA rating any card pretty much that's a little bit older. So, original base set Ninetales. I think what's funny is it never dawned on me that they never made a non-hollow base set Ninetales. It's really good back. That's good. Oh, that's good. And the reason why it's funny to me, you know, as a kid, I don't think it dawned on me, is like they did certain cards that they only did as non-hollows, as rares, and there's a little bit of silvering, and there's certain cards that they only did hollows of, and Ninetales is one of them that they only did a hollow of, and it's just strange to me because if a non-hollow Ninetales was found and it was like legit and it was a gigantic misprint, like that card would be worth insane amounts of money because there is no non-hollow base set Ninetales. I don't think that's damaged the card. I think that's specs. That's specs on the top loader. So ignore that. There's a huge miscentering That kind of hurts. That miscentering's pretty large. I'd say 8 to 9, unless I can get it labeled as a miscut. Um, I've actually seen that as a PSA label. If I can get it labeled as miscut, it could possibly just be a 9 with a miscut label. Okay, now I know this is non-hollow, and non-hollows are still worth grading, especially if they're older. It's definitely worth grading if they're English, and it's definitely worth grading if they're English first edition or English first edition with a misprint. This, however, is none of those. It is non-hollow Japanese Blaine's Ninetales. There is a little bit miscentering left to right, which is kind of rare for Japanese cards. Oof. And there's a nick down there. Oh, and it's not perfect up here either. It's kind of strange. Generally, Japanese cards are like always in perfect condition, especially if they're, in America, because we don't play them. Huh. I don't even know. It doesn't feel right. It feels really flimsy. Huh. I got it from a reputable person, too. Huh. Although there were certain sets that I know some people were screaming, what is he doing? It doesn't feel right is the issue. Although some Japanese cards I know are real were flimsy though too. Oof, that's rough. I can't tell. It'd be a shame, one, it's already probably not worth sending him. I'm going to anyways. And two, it doesn't help that it doesn't feel real, but I don't think there's a lot of fake Japanese cards out there. Although on this channel we seem to have found quite a few. We had a fake Japanese Misty's Gyarados, and I think there was some other fake Japanese card we had on this series. However, the thing is, if you're going to fake a card, it tends to be a hollow. So that's the other thing that makes me think it's not a fake. I'm not saying there isn't not fake hollows. I'm going to guess 7 to 8, which makes it rough, because really a Japanese card, especially with it being non-hollow, you kind of want it to be a 10. But we'll go from there, see how that goes. So we have this hollow Ninetales. I've never seen this Ninetales until I got it from someone else. It looks just really cool. Ninetales is like charging in. There's a lot of colors going on in this background. There is some minor scratches. Nothing nuts. The rest of the card looks pretty great. On the back, some minor whiting. Centering's pretty decent. Minor whiting here and there. I would guess, I'd probably just say a solid 8. I think that's fair. Now, we do have cards that, we want to send in that would be an instant payout in terms of, how much more they're worth, versus some of these we're probably going to have to wait out. Why do we do it? We like to mix things up on the series. That's really just all it is. We have a ton of cards, we don't have a ton of Charizards, but you guys have commented on that base set Charizard that we have sitting there in the background on the one table. We intend to send him in. It's just a matter of, mixing it up, giving people a chance to guess the grades. That's really what it is. We don't want to do a video. We don't have that many, but we don't want to do a video until we do 20 base set Charizards that we're sending into the PSA. That would be cool, but then no one could guess the grades. I mean, you could, but then I wouldn't know who's correct for which card, and that's just no fun. So we have another non-hollow Ninetales. If this does come in hollow, I bet you this looks sweet as shit. Good news is it's in perfect condition on the front. There is some whiting. That back gets you all the time. Oh, there's more whiting right there. See, almost invisible, perfectly visible. Don't do your things over a white background if you're looking for super minor errors. Ooh. I'd say probably an 8. I know some of you are probably like, oh, that's too generous. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. That Charizard and Blastoise I sent in were in much worse condition, and that they both pulled 8s was pretty nuts in my opinion. So we're pretty solid with the 8s. Okay, so, and then once again, this is getting back to it. Oh, by the way, I purposely did a bunch of Ninetales. I just like to do things like that for the series, going, man, this guy's doing a lot of one card. This is going back to what I said in one of my other videos. I'm sitting in break cards for a future investment. Hear me out. And I know I preach this every time I pull a break card on the series. And I'm not trying to make the prices go up. They just will go up. Why will break cards see a hyperinflation price like certain cards have? I want you to consider what people are, how they act towards break cards. They act like they don't like them, which is silly because everyone loves the overdone stuff for Pokemon. This is as overdone as you can possibly get. Like, this is more overdone than Rainbow, in my opinion. The Pokemon itself in a break card is like liquid gold. Has this mirror rainbow shiny multicolored brick finish across the back. On top of that, to make the card stand out even more, you don't play it like this. You play it horizontal. Break cards are the most overdone card series of any of the Pokemon. And people say they don't like it. They're full of it. That's what sells in Pokemon is the overdone cards. That's why people go nuts over the hyper rare rainbows because they're overdone and they stand out. The issue with break cards is they aren't nearly as rare as the rainbow cards. The good news is no one likes them right now. So people are just selling them willy-nilly for like nothing. And they're in near mint condition because people don't like playing them. So you can get near mint edition break cards for like $2 to $4 a piece. Why is that worth it? Because even now, PSA 10 break cards sell for $100 and sometimes even more depending on which Pokemon it is. What am I getting at? We're going to see a hyperinflation on break cards one day, and really not that long from now. It's worth getting them now for the $2 to $4 you can get them. Have them graded. They'll probably be a PSA 10 because they put a lot of work into these and people didn't play them anyways. I have never seen one that has like off centering, and the worst thing you get, and it's not a worst thing, it's a best thing, is sometimes this is inverted. So to check if break cards are inverted is the break cards goes to the left when you're holding it normal, and when you flip it over, if the ball is upside down, that's a really common error and it's inverted. However, it's kind of hard to find because you don't really notice it because you're usually looking at a break card like this. But yeah, hold the break to the left and flip it over. If the ball is upside down, you have that it's really common amongst them, but it does make the price almost double for it. And we'll see that probably inflate over time even more. So that's my suggestion on the investment. I've been sending in a few break cards every time I do these PSA sets of 20 because I believe in that future investment. I'm hoping to get mines in the 9s to 10 range. I really want the 10s, of course. And I'm just going to hold on to them until they continue to climb in value. So things that I paid about $2 to $4 for, right off the bat, I'll pay an additional like $12 to have it PSA'd. $16 in, comes back PSA 10. I'm already $100, so I'm at like $84 profit. If I waited out a couple of years, those cards will jump up to $200 to $500 a piece. It sounds unlikely, but it has the same pattern that Pokemon cards did, like as a whole, when it came out. People are like, it's just a card game, it doesn't matter, no, I'm not really into it, no, it won't be worth anything in the future, it has all of the patterns that led to extremely insane prices. I was thinking about this last night. Because base set packs were at like Kmart when I was a kid. And I remember launch stem packs. I didn't know that there was a difference. I just saw them like, oh, that's a launch stem pack. They were like $5 a pack, those base set packs, booster packs at Kmart. And I just think about how if I would have just bought 10 of them, it would have cost me $50. $50. I want you to think about that. A 20-year investment for $50 would have made me, for 10 of them, they're about $1,000 a piece. Launch them packs even more. Would have made me 10 grand. That is such a rare opportunity. And I, missed out, obviously. I didn't have much money as a kid. I was really young when these were out. You have the same opportunities with these break cards. It won't be as insane because it's not the original base set stuff. But I see a hyperinflation coming on in the future for these cards. Now, without further ado, I know it was a long speech, but I really want to press my point with these break cards. However, with the fronts, I have a hard time trying to find errors because they're really hard to look at. But for the most part, they're generally going to be error-free because people don't like playing them.
So the centering looks really good. Sorry, I already had it out of the sleeve. I don't know why I did that. The back looks clean. That's not whiting. That's just how the fold of the card is. I'm going to say 10 for this one. I mean, really, most of your break cards should be 10s. And that's what we're going for. So we're going to say 10. And that's not unrealistic, people. It really isn't. And of course, the break cards you want to seek out after. I mean, if you can, you want the entire break set. There's like a little nick right there. Let's see if it'll show it. I don't know. It's super, super, super minor. Like, super minor. But you want the cards, like the Pokemon that were from the original show. Like, you want Golduck, you want Ninetales, you want Machamp. Centering on the back is off. This one might be a 9. I'm going to say 9 to 10. Only because of the centering. So you want cards. You want, if you're going to get break cards and you're going to focus on a few, you want to try and focus on the ones that were like from the original show. Machamp, Nidoking, Ninetales, Raichu. I don't know if there's a Charizard break. I haven't seen one. I guess I could look it up later. I keep saying this, but I never do. But you want the ones that are based on the original Pokemon. And then to add to that, a few others, like Lugia. I guess he's technically, however you want to see it, he's technically the original Pokemon. Oh, so there's some whiting on the back. So right off the bat, I'd probably say 9. I'd probably say definitely no higher than 9. Now, some of you might be like, oh, that's the inverted one. No, as I said, you gotta hold break to the left and then flip it over. So, yeah, it happens. I'm going to say just flat 9 for him. Then we move into Neogenesis, which Neogenesis is probably my favorite set, just for the Pokemon that came out in it. And then it's still that original hollow foil. Near mirror finish, there's some minor scratches, but they really look like factory lines. They're like too perfect. They're not too deep. There's really nothing wrong with the front of this card. A little bit of miscentering, nothing nuts. The back is pretty clean. There's, of course, a whiting line right there. I know some of you might be thinking I'm being generous on this, but I'm going to say 8 to 9. And I said this earlier for this one in a different episode, because I have multiple of them. This is one of my favorite hollow foils, because of how they have the red to blue mix. And there's really no point because he's an electric Pokemon, but like they could have done something else, a little swirl there. But it's a really clean mix. I don't know why they chose red to blue, but it looks great. It looks fantastic. Pichu looks doper to me than Pikachu. It's funny, I got Pichu here, and they're still using Pikachu that needs to go on a diet in the evolution box. They have like kept that running for a long time. Everything looks pretty good on the front. Centering could be better. Centering on the back could definitely be better. I'm going to say 9. Once again, I have no good reference because I don't have my cards back from the PSA yet. Okay. Now, this is really awesome. I really like Zapdos. I think when they did the legendary birds, they did all the birds justice except, like, Ho-Ho. They're like, Ho-Ho is a joke, sadly. But, like, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno are really cool legendary birds. Like, Zapdos just looks, like, aggressive as can be. That is what I'm talking about. That mirror finish on the original cards is fantastic and awesome. And it looks like there's like some sort of bordering line that wasn't supposed to be there. That's like really nice. This isn't the misprint one, so Fossil Zapdos, there's a misprint to where like this little section, like he'll be hollow foil, and then this little section won't be. Centering looks really good. Hopefully the back is in solid condition. No whiting lines. Centering's a little off. I'm going to say 10 for this Zapdos. And I know I'm getting overzealous. I wish it was a 10 first edition, but hey, 10 is a 10, you know? This isn't the same one. I just did this in an episode. The reason why I'm doing my Dhelmise Vs is they're in good condition. They'll be a future investment. It's really not a super popular Pokemon, but they're pretty much really good condition, and there's going to be something I hold on to till they increase in value. And I wanted to get them off the table. They were taking up a card slot on my main table. Centering's really bad on the back. Everything else is really good. I'm going to guess between 9 to 10. But yeah, it's because one, I wanted him off the table. There's only like 2 of them on the table, so it was really silly to use an entire card slot for him. But it's nice to get him off the table and open up more spots for larger stacks of Pokemon cards. So what's great about this Pinsir is it is a jungle misprint. The symbol is not there. I'll pull him out so he looks a little scratched up and stuff. So he does have some minor scratches. Other than that, in really good condition. So he's not a 10. But he's in solid condition. I'm going to say 9 to 10 and see if they just overlook those minor scratches. And I've got him marked down that he's a misprint. So I shouldn't miss that. Plus, that's a pretty obvious misprint. I wish this was hollow. This is actually from my own collection as a kid from like a long time ago. Umbreon non-hollow from this set is still worth a decent amount. I remember playing him, but maybe I had him sleeved up, or maybe I didn't play him because I liked him so much. Or I think I didn't have any dark energy, so there was no point. So that nick isn't probably from playing him. It's just that keeping things in a binder isn't perfect. Oof, that's a lot of whiting on that side. Ooh, and that corner's beat up. I'm gonna say 7 to 8. That's probably high. Whatever, it's a guess. Finishing strong. I know most of y'all like this. He's a pretty cool hollow foil. I prefer this over Dark Charizard, Blaine's Charizard, because he's like in the middle of an attack. Looks fantastic, looks great. There is miscentering left to right for sure, which is really rare for a Japanese card. Just left to right, top to bottom's fine. What about they clean it up a little bit better on the back? I'm going to say 9 to 10. It's just that front miscentering is rough, but everything else about him is great. So 9 to 10. And that concludes this set of 20. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this, hits, your satisfaction factor. Hopefully you like things like this. A lot of our next episodes are going to kind of be around this. We do want to open the Darkness Ablaze booster box. We're having a hard time holding out because we love opening packs. But as you can see, I still need to clean up my area, so we will get around to that. We'll probably do some more card giveaways soon. That helps us clean things up a bit. And those are easier to do because we can just do those in standard mailing envelopes versus the pens we have to put in a package because they can't fit in a standard mailing envelope. And so yeah, we'll probably do some more card giveaways. Probably nothing insane. We are almost at our 150 sub mark, which once that's hit, we'll give away that base set Electro card. Other than that, happy holidays everyone, and thanks for watching. Bye.